1949. Harlem Bumpy Johnson controlled the streets for 20 years until a desperate Chinese gang tried to take it all. Two men, two communities both ready to go to war and paint New York red with blood. But instead of destroying each other, they did something the mafia never saw coming. What did Bumpy Johnson do that changed the underworld forever? To understand how it all led here, we go back to where it truly began. March 15th, 1949. 1:47 in the morning. The phone screamed through the silence. Bumpy Johnson's hand shot out, grabbed the receiver. Mamie stirred beside him. "Boss," Junie Bird's voice shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. "Boss, we got a problem." "What kind of problem?" "They came like ghosts, boss. 3 hits, same time, military precision." Bumpy sat up slow, his mind already running calculations. How many dead? 2. Bobby and Marcus. They took everything, 50 kilos. Gone. Bobby, his cousin, 23 years old. Just started running the 132nd Street house last month. Bumpy's jaw clenched. "Who?" "Chinese, Hip Sing Tong, 6 men, hatchets and guns, knew exactly where to hit, exactly when guards changed, exactly where the product was stored." Bumpy got dressed, didn't rush. Rushing made mistakes. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. He arrived at 132nd Street. Police everywhere. Blue lights painting the darkness red. Bodies under white sheets, his men standing around. Angry, scared, looking to him for answers. Junie Bird handed him the report. "They came in fast, boss, synchronized. 3 locations hit within 5 minutes of each other. Military training, professional." Bumpy walked the scene, touched the wall, blood still warm, looked at the floor. Boot prints, not street shoes, combat boots, Korean War issue. He'd seen them before, on soldiers coming back from overseas. Then he saw it. Red card on Bobby's chest, black dragon, Chinese characters, and Bobby's blood smeared across it like a signature. Stephanie St. Clair stepped forward, the Queen of Harlem. She'd fought Chinese gangs in the 20s, learned their language, their ways. She picked up the card, read it. Her face went stone. "What does it say?" "This is only the beginning. 72 hours from now, Harlem will kneel." Bumpy took the card, crumpled it in his fist, but his voice came out cold as winter, controlled, dangerous. "Who dares to count down on me?" The room went quiet, everyone watching, waiting for the order, waiting for Bumpy to declare war, to send 200 men into Chinatown, to burn it all down. But Bumpy said nothing, just stared at that crumpled card, thinking. By sunrise, word had spread through Harlem like wildfire. Chinese gang attacked Bumpy Johnson, killed his cousin, stole his product, left a threat. Every crew in Harlem wanted blood, wanted revenge, wanted war. The underground meeting room filled up fast, 20 men. Bumpy's core crew, Willie Jackson, Junie Bird, Frank Lucas, all of them ready to ride, ready to die, ready to make Chinatown pay. Willie Jackson slammed his fist on the table. "Boss, we got 200 soldiers. We can hit Chinatown tonight, burn every building. Send them a message they'll never forget." "Yeah," Frank Lucas nodded. "They killed Bobby. They stole from us. They threatened us. We can't let this stand." The room erupted, everyone talking at once, planning the attack, dividing up targets, loading weapons. Bumpy sat at the head of the table, silent, listening, watching. Then he stood. The room went quiet. He walked to the blackboard, drew 3 circles, connected them with lines, drew arrows, times, numbers. "They hit 3 locations," he said, "simultaneously, 5 minutes apart. How?" Willie frowned. "What do you mean, how? They had 6 men. 6 men can't be in 3 places at once. They had 18, maybe 20. Organized, trained, disciplined. He drew more lines. 132nd Street. That location is secret. We only opened it 2 months ago. Only 12 people know it exists. He tapped the board. Malcolm X Avenue. That warehouse. We rotate guards every 4 hours. They hit exactly during shift change, exactly when we're weakest. Another tap. St. Nicholas. They knew the product was moved there yesterday. Only 8 people knew that. The room shifted. Men looking at each other. Suspicion creeping in like smoke. Bumpy turned. Looked at each man. One by one, studying faces. Reading eyes. They knew too much. They knew where. They knew when. They knew how much. Silence. Heavy. Thick. You're saying we got a rat? Junibird's voice barely a whisper. I'm saying someone told them everything they needed to know. The tension exploded. Men accusing each other. Voices rising. Hands moving toward weapons. Enough. Bumpy's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. We don't know who. We don't know why. But we know this. If we attack Chinatown, now we're doing exactly what they want. What? Willie stared. How is revenge what they want? Bumpy wrote on the board. Big letters. Trap. They want us emotional. They want us reckless. They want us to charge into Chinatown with everything we got. And when we do, they'll know exactly where we're coming from. Because the rat will tell them. He turned back to his men. No one touches the Chinese. 72 hours. I need 72 hours. Boss. Junibird stepped forward. They said 72 hours. They might attack again. We gotta defend ourselves. We will. Double the guards. Change all the locations. Move all the product. But no offensive action. Not yet. Why not? Bumpy smiled. Cold. Calculating. Because I'm counting on them attacking again. The room erupted in confusion, men shouting, calling him crazy, saying he'd lost his mind. But Bumpy walked out, left them arguing. He had work to do. 36 hours later, Bumpy Johnson appeared in Chinatown. Alone, no crew, no weapons, just watching. He moved through the streets like a shadow, observing, learning, understanding. First location, Mott Street, Chinese restaurant, usually packed, now half empty, tables cleared, chairs stacked. For sale sign in the window. Second location, Pell Street, laundry service, family run for 30 years, closed, shutters down, door locked, gone. Third location, Doyers Street, grocery store, boarded up, abandoned. Bumpy counted. 6 businesses closed in 1 week. Not expanding, contracting, not growing, dying. He watched the people, saw the fear in their eyes, saw families packing, saw children being sent away, saw a community under siege. Then he saw the trucks, 3 of them, moving slow down Canal Street. Italian trucks, Fat Tony's trucks, loading furniture, loading goods, taking it all away from Chinatown. Bumpy followed, kept distance, stayed in shadows. The truck stopped at a warehouse on the edge of Little Italy. Men got out, started unloading, laughing, celebrating. He got closer, found a window, listened. Fat Tony's voice, unmistakable. Next month, Chinatown will be history. We'll own it all. Every block, every business, every dollar. Another voice, Vito Genovese. What about the Chinese gangs? Hip Sing Tong. They're desperate, running scared. We've squeezed them so hard they're attacking Harlem now. Let them fight Johnson. Let them destroy each other. We'll pick up the pieces. Laughter, glasses clicking, victory toasts. Bumpy recorded it all. Small device in his pocket. New technology. Expensive. Worth every penny. He left Chinatown as the sun set, his mind racing, processing, understanding. Tommy Chen wasn't the aggressor. Tommy Chen was the desperate one, not attacking, surviving, not expanding, escaping. The Italians were crushing Chinatown. Hip Sing Tong had nowhere to go. So they went for Harlem, the only territory left. Back in Harlem, Bumpy sat in his office, alone, thinking, the pieces coming together, the picture becoming clear. This wasn't about greed. This was about survival. And survival made people dangerous, made them unpredictable, made them do things they'd never normally do. He picked up the phone, dialed a number he hadn't called in months. It rang. Once, twice, 3 times. "Hello," woman's voice, professional, cautious. "Dr. Chen, I need your help." Silence. Long. Heavy. Then, "What do you want?" "Revenge." "I want to understand." More silence. 15 seconds that felt like 15 hours. Sound of breathing. Sound of thinking. Sound of a decision being made. "You shouldn't call me Mr. Johnson. Tommy is my brother." The bombshell. The revelation. The thing that changed everything. But Bumpy's voice stayed calm. "I know. I've known for 3 years." "What?" Shock in her voice. Real shock. "How do you know?" 1946. I got shot bad. 3 bullets. Chest and abdomen. No hospital would take me. Black man. Criminal. Dying in the street. I remember. You saved my life. Operated in your clinic. 16 hours. No sleep. No help. Just you. That's my job. After that, I investigated you. Not because I didn't trust you. Because I wanted to know who I owed my life to. He paused. Let that sink in. Found out you had a brother. Younger. Korean War veteran. Came back damaged. Joined Hip Sing Tong. Rose through the ranks. Became leader 2 years ago. And you never said anything. I respected your privacy. You saved my life. I kept your secret. For 3 years I've known. Never told anyone. Never used it against you. Sarah Chen's breathing changed. Understanding. Gratitude. Fear. Why are you telling me now? Because I kept your secret for 3 years. Now I need you to keep your brother alive. What do you mean? Your brother killed my cousin, stole from me, threatened me. My men want war. They want blood. They want to destroy Chinatown. Then why haven't you? Because I'm not interested in war. I'm interested in understanding. Why now? Why Harlem? Why me? Sarah's voice cracked. You really don't know. I have theories, but I want the truth. Come to my clinic. Tonight. 11. Alone. Will your brother be there? No, just me. If you want to understand, I'll explain. But Mr. Johnson, yes. If you hurt Tommy, our debt is paid, and you become my enemy. Understood. The line went dead. That evening, Bumpy told no one where he was going. Left his gun at home, left his crew behind, walked into Chinatown alone, unarmed, unprotected. Junie Bird tried to stop him. Boss, this is suicide. They'll kill you. If I die, it's God's will. Boss, please. I need to do this alone. If I'm not back by morning, you know what to do. He walked the streets of Chinatown, every eye on him, every shadow a potential threat. He was Bumpy Johnson, king of Harlem, walking through enemy territory, alone. It was either the bravest thing he'd ever done or the stupidest. 3 blocks from the clinic they appeared. 7 men. Hip Sing Tong soldiers surrounding him, blocking his path. Weapons visible, intent clear. Bumpy stopped walking. Didn't reach for a weapon he didn't have. Didn't run. Didn't fight. Just stood there. Then Tommy Chen stepped out of the shadows. Young, muscular, scar running down his left cheek. Korean War souvenir. Eyes hard. Dangerous. Holding a knife. Combat knife. Military issue. The street went silent. 2 men, face to face, hunter and hunted, predator and prey. Except neither knew which was which. Bumpy spoke first, voice calm, almost friendly. You have 10 seconds to kill me, or 10 minutes to hear me out. Tommy raised the knife, held it steady, pointed at Bumpy's throat. His men tensed, ready to strike, ready to finish this. Then a voice cut through the night. Tommy, don't. Dr. Sarah Chen ran into the street, positioned herself between her brother and Bumpy. Arms spread, human shield, protection for both. Sister, get out of the way. Tommy's voice shaking, Anger, confusion, betrayal. No. Move. If you kill him, you kill me. Tears streaming down her face. You owe me your life. He owes me his life. You both owe me. Tommy's hand trembled. The knife wavered. The men around them waited, watching their leader, waiting for the order. Sarah kept talking, voice breaking. 3 years ago, you came back from Korea. Broken, suicidal. You tried to end it. Remember, I found you. I saved you. You owe me. Tommy's eyes glistened, the memory hitting hard. 8 years ago, he was shot. Dying. I saved him. He owes me. She looked at Bumpy, then at Tommy. I'm calling in both debts. Right now. You will not kill each other. You will talk. You will listen. And you will find another way. The silence stretched. 10 seconds. 20. 30. Then Tommy lowered the knife. Slowly. Reluctantly. But he lowered it. 10 minutes, he said. He gets 10 minutes. Inside the clinic, 3 people sat around a small table. Tommy still holding the knife. Bumpy still unarmed. Sarah between them. Mediator. Peacekeeper. The woman who held both their lives in her hands. Bumpy opened the conversation. Direct. No games. How much do the Italians pay you for opium? Tommy's eyes narrowed. How do you know about that? Because they exploit me too. 40% of market value. Right. Tommy's face showed surprise. Real surprise. How do you know the exact number? Bumpy reached into his jacket. Slow, careful, pulled out a ledger, placed it on the table, opened it. Pages filled with numbers, calculations, transactions, evidence. They pay you $20,000 for 50 kilograms. They sell it to me for $180,000. 9 times profit. Tommy stood up. Fast, chair scraping. 9 times. I thought they made maybe double, maybe triple. But 9 times. 9 times. Bumpy tapped the ledger. They're stealing from both of us, taking 90% of your profit, and I'm paying 9 times what it's worth. Tommy paced. Angry, betrayed. So you attack me, the guy making 20,000, not Fat Tony, the guy stealing 160,000. Because I can't fight the Italians. Tommy's voice rising. They're too strong, too connected, too powerful. If I go after them, they destroy me. They destroy my whole organization. They destroy Chinatown. Bumpy leaned forward, eyes locked on Tommy's. Alone you can't fight them. I understand that. But what if you weren't alone? Tommy stopped pacing, turned, stared. What are you saying? I'm saying, together we could cut them out. You supply. I distribute. We split the profit. Fair. Equal. No Italian middleman taking everything. You want to partner, with me, after I killed your cousin. I want to make more money, after the Italians robbed both of us. Tommy sat back down, the knife still in his hand but no longer a threat. More like a thinking tool, something to hold while his mind processed. Sarah saw the opening, pushed forward. Listen to me, both of you. Right now the Italians control the pipeline. Tommy, you grow poppies, process opium. Sell to Fat Tony for 40% value. Fat Tony sells to Bumpy for 300% markup. Bumpy distributes in Harlem, takes a cut, pays the Italian tax. Everyone loses except the Italians. She pulled out a map, spread it on the table. Here's Chinatown, here's Harlem. Between them, Little Italy, Fat Tony's territory. He sits in the middle, controls everything, makes millions while you two fight over scraps. Bumpy nodded. Seeing it, understanding it, so we remove the middle. Exactly. Sarah drew lines. Tommy supplies at 60% market value, fair price, better than what Fat Tony pays. Bumpy distributes in Harlem. Controls the customer base, split profits 80-20. Bumpy takes more because he assumes more risk. But Tommy makes more money because volume increases. Tommy shook his head. I will never trust a black man. The slap came fast. Hard. Loud. Bumpy's hand across Tommy's face, the sound echoing in the small room. Everyone jumped. Sarah screamed. Tommy's men outside heard it. Boots running, doors opening. Tommy touched his face, felt the sting, felt the heat. His men burst in, guns drawn, ready to kill. But Tommy raised his hand. Stopped them, sent them back outside. Just him and Bumpy and Sarah, the slap hanging in the air like smoke. Bumpy's voice came out cold, sharp, cutting. I don't need you to trust me. I need you to trust mathematics. He stood, walked to the blackboard on the wall, picked up chalk, started writing. Numbers, calculations, formulas, economics, business, truth. Current price, $20,000. Fair market price, $120,000. Your profit per transaction, $100,000. He underlined it, made it clear, made it undeniable. That's 5 times what you're making now, from one partnership, one transaction, one decision to think with your brain instead of your prejudice. Tommy held his swollen cheek, stared at the numbers, his eyes moving, calculating, counting, thinking. 3 months trial period. Tommy's voice steady now, decided. If you cheat me, if you betray me, if you lie to me, I will burn Harlem to the ground. If you betray me, Bumpy's response just as cold. I will bury Chinatown 6 feet deep. No handshake, no smile, no friendship, just a nod. Agreement built on hatred, partnership built on mutual distrust, alliance built on the only thing both men understood, money. Sarah looked at both of them, exhausted, relieved, terrified. This better work. It will work. Bumpy headed for the door. Because we both need it to. Outside, Bumpy walked back through Chinatown, Tommy's men watching. Not attacking. Not threatening. Just watching. The game had changed. The rules had shifted. War postponed. Business proposed. Junie Bird waited at the edge of Harlem, saw Bumpy walking, alive, unharmed, ran to him. Boss, what happened? What did you do? Bumpy kept walking, didn't look back. I just made a deal with the devil. Which devil? The Chinese. No, mathematics. Junie Bird followed, confused, concerned, worried. Boss, did you just create an alliance? Bumpy stopped, turned, looked at his oldest friend, his most loyal soldier, his brother in everything but blood. I don't know, Junie. I honestly don't know if I just created an alliance or a time bomb. March 25th, 1949. Brooklyn Docks. First delivery. The moment of truth. 40 men on each side. Bumpy's crew on the left. Tommy's soldiers on the right. Guns already loaded. Safeties off. Fingers on triggers. Nobody trusting anybody. Just 2 groups of armed men standing in the cold morning fog waiting to see if this insane partnership would work or explode into violence. Junie Bird checked his watch. Boss, Tommy's 15 minutes late. Bumpy stood calm, arms crossed. We wait. Boss, this could be a setup. This could be the ambush. Then we'll know soon enough. 20 minutes. The tension rising, Bumpy's men shifting, getting nervous, getting angry. Willie Jackson moved closer to Bumpy, whispered, Boss, give the word. We can take them right now. Tommy's men are here. Tommy's not. Maybe he's already dead. Maybe the Italians got him. Bumpy said nothing. Just watched the road, waiting, believing, hoping. Then headlights appeared through the fog. One truck, moving slow, limping, something wrong with the engine. It pulled up. Stopped. Door opened. Tommy Chen climbed out, blood streaming down his face, left side of his head covered in red, shirt torn, limping, but carrying a briefcase. His men rushed forward. Boss, what happened? Tommy waved them off, walked straight to Bumpy, opened the briefcase. Inside. 20 kilos of pure opium. Exactly as promised. Italians ambushed me on the way here. Fat Tony's men. 6 cars, 20 soldiers. They wanted the product. They wanted me dead. Bumpy looked at the blood. Fresh, still flowing. How many did you lose? 3 of my best men. Dead. 5 more wounded, but the product stayed intact. I protected it with my life. Junie stepped forward. Suspicious. How do we know you're telling the truth? How do we know this isn't staged? Tommy's eyes went cold. Dangerous, hand moving toward his weapon. But Bumpy raised his hand, stopped both men, made a decision that would change everything. Junie, call Dr. Hamilton. Tell him to come here immediately. Medical emergency. Boss, what are you doing? I'm getting Tommy medical attention. Tommy stared, confused. Why? I could be lying. I could be your enemy. This could all be a trap. Bumpy met his eyes. An enemy doesn't protect product with his own life. An enemy runs. An enemy saves himself. You came here bleeding. You lost 3 men. You kept your word. That means something. For the first time since they met, Tommy looked at Bumpy without hatred, without suspicion, with something else. Something like respect. Dr. Hamilton arrived 20 minutes later. Stitched Tommy's head wound right there on the docks. 16 stitches. Tommy never flinched, never made a sound. Just stared at Bumpy the whole time. After the doctor left, the exchange happened. 20 kilos of opium. Cash payment. 60% of market value. Exactly as agreed. No cheating, no shortcuts, no games. Bumpy counted the product. Pure. High quality. Better than anything Fat Tony had ever sold him. Tommy counted the money. Full amount, not a dollar short. They nodded to each other. First deal complete. First test passed. As Tommy's men loaded up to leave, Tommy stopped, turned back. Mr. Johnson. Yes. Thank you. For the doctor. For trusting me when you had no reason to. Don't thank me yet. We still have 2 months and 3 weeks to go. Tommy almost smiled. Almost. Yes, we do. The weeks that followed proved the partnership's potential. Sales exploded across Harlem. Bumpy's opium houses fully stocked for the first time in years. Prices dropped because there was no Italian middleman inflating costs. Demand increased as word spread about quality and availability. Revenue doubled within 3 weeks, then tripled by the end of the first month. By the end of April, both sides were making more money than they'd ever made before. Tommy got his 20% cut. Seemed small on paper. But 20% of a massive pie meant more profit than 100% of Fat Tony's scraps ever did. The numbers told the truth. Partnership worked better than competition. But success attracted attention. Dangerous attention. May 1949. Early morning. The phone rang in Bumpy's office. He knew who it was before he answered. Let it ring 3 times. 4, 5. Making Tony wait. Making him angry. Building pressure. Then picked up. Bumpy. Fat Tony's voice. Tight, controlled. Barely containing rage underneath. We need to talk about something. About what, Tony? Don't play games with me. My revenue, my money. It's disappeared. You stopped buying from me 6 weeks ago. Bumpy pressed the speaker button. Let the whole room hear. Let his men witness this moment, this confrontation, this line being drawn. I found a better supplier, Tony. Better quality, better price, better terms. That's business. Who is it? That's my business. Like hell it is. Fat Tony's control slipping, voice rising, anger bleeding through. You're buying direct from the Chinese, cutting me out completely. You and that psycho Tommy Chen. You made a deal behind my back. I made a deal that works for me. I made a deal that doesn't involve paying triple markup for no reason. That's called smart business, Tony. Fat Tony's voice went cold. Deadly cold. The voice of a man making threats he intended to keep. No, Bumpy, That's called a declaration of war. You don't cut out Fat Tony Salerno. You don't disrespect me like this. You don't steal my business and think there's no consequences." Bumpy leaned back in his chair, smile spreading across his face, his men watching, waiting. Everyone understanding this was the moment, the point of no return, the decision that would define everything that came next. "Tony, let me make something very clear to you. I know exactly who you are. You're a middleman. A leech. A parasite who's been stealing from both of us for years, charging me triple, paying Tommy 40%, keeping the difference. And now you're a middleman who's losing his market, losing his control, losing his power. You watch your mouth, boy." "No, Tony. You watch yours. Because let me tell you who I am right now. I'm the man currently controlling 70% of the opium market in New York City. I'm the man who just formed an alliance you never saw coming. I'm the man who's making more money this month than I made all of last year. And I'm the man who's not afraid of you anymore." Silence on the other end. Dangerous silence. The silence before violence. Bumpy continued, voice calm, assured, powerful. "You want war, Tony? I'm ready. I'm prepared. I've got soldiers. I've got territory. I've got supply chains. I've got distribution networks. And most importantly, I've got allies. Real allies. You come at me. You come at both of us, both Harlem and Chinatown. Together. United. So think very carefully about your next move." He hung up. Didn't wait for a response. Didn't need to hear threats. The message was sent. The battle lines were drawn. The room erupted, men cheering, celebrating, feeling powerful, feeling invincible. Junie Bird let out a low whistle. "Boss, you just declared war on the Italian mob." "No, Junie, I just told them war is an option, their choice, not mine. I gave them information. What they do with it determines what happens next." "You think they'll come after us?" Bumpy stood, walked to the window, looked out at Harlem, his kingdom, his responsibility, his burden. "They'll come. Men like Fat Tony don't accept loss, don't accept disrespect, don't accept being replaced. Pride matters more than profit to them. They'll come hard, they'll come fast, and they'll come expecting us to break like everyone else. Will we? No, because this time, we're not alone." That evening, Bumpy met with Tommy Chen. Neutral ground, small restaurant in Chinatown, closed to the public for their meeting, just the two leaders and their top lieutenants, sitting around a large table covered with maps and documents, planning, strategizing, preparing for the storm they both knew was coming. Tommy spread a detailed map of Chinatown across the table, marked locations with red circles. "The Italians will hit these 5 points. All opium processing houses, all supply centers. If they destroy these locations, they cut off production at the source. We can't supply you if we can't process." Bumpy studied the map carefully, added his own marks in blue ink, Harlem locations, distribution points. "And they'll hit Harlem here, here, and here. 3 of my biggest houses, my main distribution centers. If they take these down, they stop sales completely. No sales means no money, means no partnership." Tommy nodded grimly. 8 targets total. They'll hit simultaneously. Coordinated attacks. Just like I did to you that first night. Except they'll bring more men, more firepower, more destruction. How many men can you spare for defense? 50, well-trained, battle-tested, well-armed. Hip Sing Tong's most experienced fighters. I can provide 30, elite soldiers, my best people. Veterans who've been with me for years. They planned for hours. Defense strategies, counterattack options, communication signals between locations, escape routes if things went bad. Supply caches hidden throughout both territories. Everything professional. Everything precise. Everything showing they'd transformed from enemies into genuine military allies. Real partners. Real brothers preparing for real war. As midnight approached and they finalized details, Bumpy looked at the map one more time. Something bothering him. Something nagging at the back of his mind. Something that didn't fit the pattern. "Tommy, I don't think Fat Tony's our real problem." Tommy looked up, confused. "What do you mean?" "He's the one who called. The one making threats. The one who's angry." "Exactly. He's loud. He's obvious. He's emotional. But dangerous men aren't loud. Dangerous men are quiet, silent, patient. Then who should we worry about? Then..." Bumpy tapped the map. Little Italy, the heart of Italian territory. The seat of real power. The man behind Tony, the man pulling his strings. The one who hasn't shown his face yet. Hasn't made threats. Hasn't revealed his position. That's who scares me. Tommy understood immediately. The commission, the 5 families, the real bosses. The commission. June 15th, 1949, 10 at night. The attack came exactly as predicted, but worse than imagined. 20 Italian soldiers, armed with Thompson submachine guns and sawed-off shotguns, military-grade weapons, professional equipment, rushing Bumpy's largest opium house on 145th Street like a military assault. Molotov cocktails flying through windows, glass shattering, fire spreading instantly, bullets tearing through walls like paper, screaming, chaos, death. Hell unleashed in the heart of Harlem, inside the building. Only 8 of Bumpy's men, outnumbered more than 2 to 1, outgunned, overwhelmed. But they fought back with everything they had. Returning fire from behind overturned furniture, taking cover behind walls, trying to hold their ground, trying to survive, trying to last long enough for help to arrive. Junie Bird commanded the desperate defense, firing his .45 caliber pistol until the slide locked back empty. Magazine spent. Reached for his backup piece on his ankle, fired that too. Also empty. Threw the useless gun at an approaching Italian, grabbed a wooden chair, swung it like a baseball bat, connecting with someone's head. Desperate. Losing. Dying. 3 of Bumpy's men already down, not dead yet, but wounded, bleeding onto the floor. Out of the fight, moaning in pain. The Italians closed in for the kill, 5 of them surrounding Junie in a semicircle. Guns pointed at his head, his chest, his body, smiles on their faces. Enjoying this, they had him. This was over. Harlem was finished. Junie closed his eyes, thought of his family, his mother, his children, prepared to die. Then sounds from outside. Strange sounds, not gunshots, something different, something old, something ancient, something terrifying. War cries in Chinese, high-pitched and haunting, footsteps running. Many footsteps, getting closer, getting louder. The back door burst open. Not the front where Italians expected. The back, the unguarded side, the blind spot. 15 Chinese warriors poured in like a flood. Hip Sing Tong's elite squad. But they didn't carry guns, didn't use modern weapons. They carried traditional tools of war, hatchets, meat cleavers, combat knives, long blades, short blades, fighting the old way, the Tong way, the way their grandfathers fought in the bloody Angle Wars of the 1920s. Vincent the Blade Wong led the charge, called that because he was the best blade fighter in all of New York, maybe in all of America, maybe in the world. Dual-wielding hatchets, one in each hand, moving like water, like wind, like death itself, like a ghost from the old wars come back to haunt the living. He hit the first Italian before the man could turn around, hatchet to the shoulder blade, not a killing blow. Never killing unless absolutely necessary. Disabling. The gun fell from nerveless fingers. Vincent kicked it away, sent it sliding across the bloody floor. Second hatchet to the back of the knee. The Italian went down screaming. The room transformed into chaos. Modern guns versus ancient blades. Distance fighting versus close combat. Italian training versus Chinese martial arts. West versus East. New world versus old world. The Italians had firepower, had range, had technology. But in close quarters, in tight spaces, in a burning building with smoke and confusion, with attackers moving fast and low and unpredictable, guns became less effective, less accurate, less useful. Blades became deadly, became precise, became unstoppable. One Italian fired point blank, missed completely. Vincent was already past him, already inside his guard, already too close, hatchet to the back of the knee. The Italian collapsed. Another quick strike, clean, precise, professional. Disabling, not killing. Vincent never killed unless absolutely necessary. His code, his honor, his way. 4 Italians down in 30 seconds, all from Vincent alone. The other Chinese fighters moved with equal skill, equal precision, equal deadly grace, coordinated like a dance, like a performance, like warriors who'd trained together for years. This wasn't random violence. This wasn't street fighting. This was choreographed warfare. This was military strategy. This was art painted in blood and steel. Then Chen himself entered through the smoke, through the fire, through the chaos. Spotted Junie Bird surrounded and about to die. Saw the Italian raising his gun for the final kill shot, the execution. Moved without thinking, threw his combat knife. Perfect accuracy, 20 feet through smoke and darkness. Spinning blade. The knife hit the Italian's gun hand, went clean through, pinning the hand to the wooden wall behind him. The gun clattered to the floor. The Italian screamed in agony. Tommy reached Junie in 3 strides, grabbed him by the collar, pulled him away from danger, away from death. "You're welcome." Junie stared, stunned, shocked, unable to process what just happened. You just saved my life. We're partners. That's what partners do." The battle lasted 6 more brutal minutes. When it finally ended, when the smoke began to clear, when the screaming stopped. 3 Italian bodies lay motionless on the floor, 7 more wounded, barely conscious, being dragged away by their surviving companions toward the front door, a retreat, a defeat, a message sent and received. 0 casualties on Bumpy and Tommy's side, some cuts, some bruises, burns from the fire. Nothing serious, nothing permanent, nothing that wouldn't heal. The Italians had come to destroy, to dominate, to prove they were still in control of New York, to prove the old order still stood. Instead, they'd proven the opposite. The alliance was real. The alliance was powerful. The alliance was unbreakable. After the fires were extinguished and the smoke cleared, Junie Bird found Chen sitting outside, on the front steps, catching his breath, wiping blood off his hatchet. Not his blood. Enemy blood. "Why did you do that? Why risk your life for me? I'm not your people." Tommy looked up, genuine confusion on his face, like the question didn't make sense. "I told you already. We're partners." "But I'm not Chinese. I'm not Hip Sing Tong. I'm just some guy from Harlem you barely know." "No, you're my partner's man. That makes you under my protection. That makes you my responsibility. Partnership means something to me, means everything." Junie extended his hand, formal, respectful. Tommy took it, shook firmly. No more suspicion, no more doubt, no more questioning. Just respect. Hard-earned, battle-proven. Blood sealed. Real. Bumpy arrived 20 minutes later. Saw the destroyed building, the scorch marks, the bullet holes, the wounded enemies being loaded into cars, his men alive and standing, Tommy's warriors helping clean up, put out remaining fires, repair what could be repaired. Together, like they've been doing this for years instead of weeks. He found Tommy outside, still sitting on the steps, exhausted, covered in other people's blood, breathing heavy. Bumpy sat next to him, said nothing for a full minute. Just sat, breathed, existed in the moment, in the aftermath, in the reality of what just happened. Finally. Thank you, Tommy, for coming when I needed you, for fighting alongside my men, for saving Junie's life. Don't thank me, Tommy's standard response, his automatic deflection. But this time he added something real, something true. If the Italians had destroyed you tonight, I would have lost my best customer, my only ally, my only chance against them. That's bad business. But his eyes told a different story. This wasn't just business anymore. Both men knew it. This was something deeper, something neither could quite name, something that felt like brotherhood, like family, like bonds forged in fire that couldn't be broken. They sat in silence for another moment. Then Bumpy noticed something. A piece of paper sticking out of one of the dead Italian's jacket pocket, half burned from the fire, but still partially readable. He stood, walked over, pulled it out carefully, unfolded it. An address, written in neat handwriting, his safe house on 132nd Street. The secret location. The one only 5 people in his entire organization knew about. Tommy, look at this. Tommy stood, took the paper, read it. His face went hard. They knew your safe house, your most secret location. They knew exactly where to find it, exactly how to get there, exactly what it looked like inside, probably. Bumpy crumpled the paper. The rat, the traitor in my organization, still feeding them information, still setting us up, still betraying us. Do you know who it is? Not yet, but I will find them, and when I do, when I discover which one of my trusted men sold us out, they'll wish the Italians had gotten to them first. Tommy nodded, understanding, respecting the promise of violence in Bumpy's voice. The message that arrived the next morning changed everything, shifted the entire game. Delivered by a nervous kid, maybe 15 years old. Italian neighborhood kid paid $5 to run an envelope into Harlem, into enemy territory, into danger. Junie brought it to Bumpy. Boss, messenger just dropped this off. From Fat Tony. Bumpy opened the expensive envelope. Red card inside, thick paper, gold lettering, formal, official, an invitation. Mr. Johnson and Mr. Chen, you are cordially invited to Fat Tony's social club in Little Italy. Tonight. 8 sharp. Come alone. No weapons, no bodyguards, no crew, just you two. We need to have a conversation. Willie Jackson read over his shoulder. Immediate reaction. Boss, this is a trap. Obvious trap. Clear trap. They're going to kill you both the second you walk through that door. Walk in. Never walk out. That's the plan. Tommy arrived 10 minutes later, having received an identical invitation, meeting with Bumpy to discuss options. It's an execution dressed as a meeting. They invite us in. They lock the doors. They kill us. Problem solved for them. Bumpy read the invitation again, studying every word, every implication. Thinking. Calculating. Understanding the psychology. The game. The test. That's exactly what they expect us to think, because it's probably true. Maybe, maybe not. But if we don't go, if we refuse out of fear, we show weakness. We show them they control us through intimidation. We show them we're not ready for the next level. And if we do go, if we walk into that club surrounded by their men, Bumpy smiled, that dangerous smile. That calculated smile. That smile that made even his own men nervous. We show them fear means nothing to us. We show them we're willing to walk into hell itself without flinching. We show them real strength, real power, real confidence. Tommy stared, processing. You're serious? You actually want to walk into Fat Tony's club, surrounded by his soldiers, his guns, his territory, completely unarmed and vulnerable? Yes, that's insane. That's exactly why it works. They expect rational behavior, expected cautiousness, expected self-preservation instincts. We give them the opposite. We show them crazy. And crazy men are the most dangerous men in the world. Tommy thought about it. Long silence. Full minute of consideration, weighing options, calculating odds. Then finally, if we die tonight, we die together. If we die tonight, we die proving we're not afraid of them. What does that accomplish? Everything. Fear is their weapon. Take away that weapon and they have nothing. July 1949. 8 o'clock sharp. Bumpy Johnson and Tommy Chen walked into Fat Tony's social club in the heart of Little Italy. Into the lion's den. Alone. No weapons visible. No backup in sight. Just two men entering a building filled with their enemies, filled with people who wanted them dead. The club went completely silent when they entered. 10 Italian gangsters scattered around the room. All armed, all staring, all ready to kill on a single command. Fat Tony sat at the center table like a king on his throne, Vito Genovese beside him. Real power, real danger, real connection to the commission. Sit down. Fat Tony pointed to 2 chairs positioned in the middle of the room. Isolated, surrounded on all sides. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Perfect kill zone. Last chance to sit, boys. Last chance to be civilized. Bumpy and Tommy sat, backs straight, faces calm, not showing the fear they both felt but absolutely refused to acknowledge or display. Fat Tony leaned forward, studied them. You two got some serious balls coming here, I'll give you that much. Walking in after what you did. After you cut me out. After you cost me millions of dollars, either balls or stupidity. Haven't decided which yet. Bumpy met his eyes. Didn't blink. Didn't look away. We're here because you invited us, Tony. You said you wanted to talk. So talk. All right then, here's the talk. Here's the deal. Here's the only way this ends without both of you dead tonight. You end your partnership immediately. You go back to buying from me. You pay what I say. You do what I say. You submit to the old order, or you die. Both of you. Right here. Right now. Those are your only 2 options. Choose. The room tensed, hands moving slowly toward concealed weapons, breathing, stopping, hearts pounding, the moment of decision, the moment of truth. Bumpy and Tommy looked at each other. 3 seconds of silent communication passing between them. A whole conversation in eye contact. Agreement reached without a single word spoken. Bumpy turned back to Fat Tony. No. Fat Tony's eyebrows rose, surprised. What did you just say? We said no. We refuse. We reject both options. We're not ending our partnership. And we're not dying tonight either. Carmine, one of Fat Tony's most violent enforcers, drew his pistol fast, pointed it directly at Bumpy's head. Hammer cocked. You got a real big mouth for a dead man. Tommy spoke for the first time since entering, voice calm, deadly calm, controlled. We're proposing a third option you haven't considered. You partner with us. The room erupted in laughter, loud, mocking, cruel, disrespectful. The Italians thought this was a joke, thought these two had lost their minds, but Fat Tony didn't laugh, because he saw Bumpy reaching slowly into his jacket pocket, saw him pull out a leather notebook, thick, well-used, important, saw him place it carefully on the table between them. What the hell is that? Bumpy opened to the first page. Photographs clipped inside, documents, financial records, bank statements, evidence, proof. This is 3 months of professional investigation, Tony. 3 months of me and my people documenting everything you do. Every illegal deal, every crooked cop you've bribed, every murder you've ordered, every penny you've stolen. I know where you get your money, where you hide it, where you launder it, who you report to, who you've betrayed. Everything. Fat Tony's face went pale, color draining. You're bluffing. You're making this up. Am I? Bumpy flipped pages slowly, deliberately. April 3rd. You ordered the hit on Jimmy the Mick over a gambling dispute. May 7th. You bribed Police Captain Morrison with $15,000 to look the other way on your operations. May 22nd. You skimmed $200,000 from the Genovese family books, money that was supposed to go to the commission. Vito Genovese's head snapped toward Fat Tony, eyes narrowed. Dangerous. You did what with commission money? He's lying, making it all up. Don't believe him. Tommy jumped in. Perfectly timed. Like they'd rehearsed this, like they'd planned every word. And we know about your personal debt. $2 million owed directly to Lucky Luciano. Due payment next month. Money you don't have. Money you can't get. Money you stole from Vito here trying to cover the shortfall. Fat Tony stood up fast, chair falling backward, furious, desperate, cornered. You're both dead. You hear me? Both dead. I'm going to kill you myself. But Bumpy stayed seated, stayed absolutely calm, pulled out another document from the notebook. Single page. Typed. Official looking. We can help you pay that debt, Tony. We can make you more money in 6 months than you've made in the last 5 years. Real money. Clean money. Money the commission knows about. Or we can send this complete file to Lucky Luciano tonight. Let him know you've been stealing from his organization. Let him know you're $2 million short. Let him know you've been trying to cover it up. Let him handle it his way. The room went completely silent. Everyone understanding the threat now. Everyone knowing exactly what Lucky Luciano did to people who stole from him. Everyone knowing those people didn't die quickly, didn't die easy. Died screaming. Fat Tony sat back down slowly, defeat visible in his posture, in his face, in his entire body. What exactly do you want from me? Bumpy pulled out a large map of New York City, unfolded it carefully, spread it across the table, pushed drinks and ashtrays aside. 7 territories, 7 equal bosses, 7 equal partners, no one stealing from anyone, no one lying to anyone. Genovese family, Gambino family, Lucchese family, Bonanno family, Colombo family, Harlem, Chinatown, all working together, all coordinating operations, all making more money, all protected by mutual agreement. Carmine laughed bitterly. You want us to respect black territory, Chinese territory, give you equal seats at the table with the 5 families. That's insane. Bumpy stood, slow, deliberate, power in every movement, looked Carmine directly in the eye, then addressed the entire room, every man present. Let me ask you all something, a simple question. For 20 years you've tried to take Harlem by force, complete takeover. You've failed every single time. For 100 years you've tried to take Chinatown. Also failed, every time. Why? No one answered. Silence. I'll tell you why. Not because we're stronger than you. Not because we're better armed. Not because we're smarter. But because our communities will die protecting their land. We'll fight to the last man. We'll never surrender. We'll never submit. You can't buy that kind of loyalty. Can't force it. Can't fake it. That's real power. That's real strength. Something you'll never have by force. Complete silence. Absolute silence. Truth hanging in the air. Undeniable truth. Fat Tony looked at Vito Genovese. Long look. Meaningful look. Unspoken communication between them. Finally, Fat Tony spoke. Voice different now. Serious. I can't make this decision. This is way above my pay grade, above Vito's level even. This goes to the commission. Lucky Luciano, Frank Costello, Meyer Lansky, Carlo Gambino, the real bosses. The men who actually run everything. They decide. Not me. Bumpy nodded slowly, expected exactly this answer, planned for this moment. Then talk to them, Tony. Set up a meeting. Tell them we're offering genuine partnership, offering real peace, offering increased profit for everyone. But tell them this too. This is very important. We're offering it once, one time, one chance. They say no. We go to war. Total war. And war costs everyone everything. He picked up his evidence folder. Tommy stood beside him. They walked toward the door together, every gun in the room tracking their movement, every finger resting on every trigger. One word from Fat Tony, and they both die. At the door, Bumpy turned back one final time. You have 1 week, Tony. 7 days to get us an answer from the commission. After that, after 7 days pass, we assume the answer is war, and we act accordingly. We strike first. They walked out, into the night, into the street, into the unknown. 50-50 chance they'd be shot in the back before reaching the corner, but no shots came. No ambush. No attack. They reached the street, turned the corner, disappeared into the darkness of the city. Behind them in the social club, Fat Tony sat in silence, staring at the map on the table, at the proposition laid out, at the future being offered. Vito Genovese spoke first, breaking the silence. You going to call Lucky? Set up the meeting? Yeah, I'm calling Lucky tonight. Frank, Meyer, all of them. Emergency commission meeting. Atlantic City, probably. You think they'll agree to this? To expanding the commission? Fat Tony looked at the door where Bumpy and Tommy had just exited. I think they'll listen, and that's all those two crazy bastards needed. A chance to make their case to the real power, a chance to change history forever. August 15th, 1949, 3 o'clock. p.m. Atlantic City, the Claridge Hotel. Bumpy Johnson and Tommy Chen walked through marble hallways lined with armed Italians. The door opened and 5 men sat around a mahogany table. Frank Costello, Meyer Lansky, Albert Anastasia, Joe Bonanno, Carlo Gambino. The commission. Frank gestured to 2 chairs. Sit. You've proposed something unprecedented, expanding the commission to non-Italian territories. Bumpy replied calmly. Everything was unprecedented once. Meyer Lansky laughed. I like how you think. I vote yes. Tommy pulled out a folder with detailed numbers. 3 months, $500,000. More than the Genovese family made in 6 months. No middleman, no war's pure efficiency. Carlo Gambino read the papers, eyebrows rising. Tommy continued. You've tried taking Harlem for 20 years. Failed. Chinatown for a century. Failed. As partners, that resistance protects all of us. Frank's face remained unreadable. And if we say no? Bumpy leaned forward. We all keep bleeding. Or you say yes. Revenue up, violence down, everyone profits. Silence. Meyer. Yes. Frank, yes. Joe Bonanno. Yes. Carlo Gambino. Yes. Everyone turned to Albert Anastasia. He stared at Bumpy. You killed 3 of my men last month. The room froze. Bumpy didn't blink. That was Fat Tony's fight, not yours. Your men died in someone else's war. That's what we're fixing. 30 seconds of deadly silence. Albert leaned back. You're right. These 2 turned enemies into partners. That takes brains. I vote yes. Frank stood. Welcome to the commission, Bumpy Johnson, Tommy Chen. Tommy spoke carefully. We're partners, not subordinates. Harlem and Chinatown stay autonomous. Frank smiled. Understood. 7 territories, 7 equals. January 1950. Small's Paradise. Black Chinese Italian faces drinking together. 6 months ago, this would have meant war. Bumpy and Tommy sat outside smoking. Why partnership over war? Tommy asked. Bumpy exhaled. 20 years taught me the goal isn't winning. It's building something that lasts after you're dead. Victory fades. Legacy comes through cooperation. Tommy nodded. I was taught to trust only Chinese. Now my closest partner is black, and I'm building something my sister can be proud of. Inside revenue up 180%, violence down 60%. 1965, Tommy's retirement party. 300 people from every community. 15 years ago, I tried to take Harlem by force. I failed. That failure led to my greatest success, partnership with Bumpy Johnson, that made us brothers. He raised his glass. To Bumpy, who taught me strength isn't domination, it's elevation. 1968. Bumpy's funeral. 1,000 people. Tommy, 70, crying in the front row. At the podium. Voice breaking. Bumpy taught me real strength is turning enemies into family. We started wanting to kill each other. We ended willing to die for each other. He placed his hand on the casket. This alliance lasted 30 years, created 500 jobs, saved 1,000 families. Bumpy didn't change the world with guns. He changed it with one idea: choose bridges over walls. They started as enemies who swore to kill each other. They ended as brothers willing to die for each other. Bumpy Johnson and Tommy Chen changed the world with a single decision: build bridges, not walls. And that changed everything.